I tossed the bag of baked goods onto a desk and hurried to the coffee station on the far side of the room, sparing a glance at the darkened hallway that led to Autumn's private office at the back of the house. The thick, dark sludge at the bottom of the coffee pot confirmed long, unattended hours on the hot warmer. Why hadn't anyone noticed the stink? "Autumn?" I called. "Wren!" The mournful sound that erupted from the back of the building brought every follicle on my scalp to attention. Mungo whined from inside the tote still hanging from my shoulder. I patted him on the head almost without thinking as I backed slowly toward the exit. Yip! His bark startled me so much I almost dropped the tote. At least my gasp made me realize that I had stopped breathing altogether. I deliberately inhaled, mind racing, intuition breaking down in the face of fear. But of what I didn't know. Maybe the fear was my intuition talking. Bright light dawned at the end of the hallway for a brief moment, then vanished. A crash sounded as something moved toward me from the office. I whirled to the door, fumbling at the handle so I could get the heck out of there. "Katie?" I paused, turning back. "Wren?" Mungo's head popped up out of the tote. She staggered into the main office, one shoulder bouncing off a wall, as if she'd had a few too many daiquiris. A framed topographical map of northern Georgia crashed to the floor, spraying broken glass. Good heavens, what's wrong? I hurried to her side, grabbed her arm, and eased her into one of the desk chairs. "Autumn," she panted, looking wildly around the room. I knelt on the floor in front of her, careful of the glass shards. Mungo jumped out of the tote and ran toward the short hallway. From the corner of my eye, I saw him skid to a stop at the entrance. Taking both of Wren's ice-cold hands in mine, I said, "Honey, settle down. You're hyperventilating." I looked around the office as if a paper bag would suddenly appear out of thin air. Then I saw the to-go bag from the Honeybee. Standing, I grabbed it, dumped the spicy, sweet contents onto the desk blotter, and shoved it toward Wren. "Here, bend down, head between your knees, and breathe into this." She obeyed like a child, closing her eyes. The paper bag inflated and deflated several times. She shuddered. I put my arm around her shoulders. "It's okay." Shaking her head, she straightened in the chair and let the bag drop into her lap. Taller than my 5'9" and a year younger, Wren Knowles was gangly and bird-boned, knobby-kneed, and oddly ethereal on her best days. Now she seemed a faded version of herself. Her face was white as alabaster against her tangled black hair, and her big blue eyes blinked rapidly at me from behind thick, rectangular framed glasses. "Now." I glanced over at my familiar, who still peered toward the office. "What happened?"